Hello and welcome to our Profiles and Power series, where we are highlighting Black educators across our county to celebrate their work, personal stories, and shining a light on the important work they are doing in service of our students. My name is Valentin Escañuela, and I'm an executive leadership coach with the San Diego County Office of Education's Equity Department. And today I have the privilege of interviewing an amazing local Black educator in Nelika-Fai Watson. So welcome, Nelika.
Thank you, Valentin. I'm very happy to be here today.
So one of the reasons why we're doing this series, Nelika, is to really shine a light in the work that you've done, past, present, and future. And so to start off, we just want to hear a little bit of like, what's been your experience like? What's your background? What's your story?
Well, I guess I would say that my story started before I knew it was starting, because education is my calling. There have been times throughout my career where I've done other things, but I always come back to this. I always come back to the children. The majority of my experience has been in schools where the children look like me. So that has been a valuable experience. But I've also had experiences where that wasn't the case. And that has been a learning experience for me. I started out in undergrad as an elementary education major. And then I decided, based on my own experience, that I really wanted to be a secondary teacher. I wanted to teach kids in middle school because I didn't have a positive middle school experience, but I did have teachers who helped to improve that experience for me along the way.
So when you have these experiences as a student, many times some people are pushed away from the system of education, right? And so many of our negative experiences as students may trigger something that just makes us not want to pursue education as a career. Like, when you think about yourself, what was that push? What was that motivation that got you into getting into education?
Well, for me, I think that I liked school. So I liked school. I was good at school, and I had teachers who supported me. There were aspects of school, though, that I didn't enjoy. And it was those teachers, those adults in the building that helped to support me, even when sometimes I couldn't get that support at home. So that is sort of the thing that motivated me to want to be that support, particularly for adolescent children, because adolescence is a really hard time. And that's the time when kids are finding themselves. And that's the time where sometimes our middle school kids and our high school kids are half adult, half child. So that's a really difficult time. And I had some really good teachers and other school personnel that just embraced me and kind of saw me. They saw me when I was struggling. They saw the things that I might have been going through, or they checked to see how I was doing and to push me along when sometimes I wasn't moving.
So thinking about your role as a teacher, thinking about your new role as an assistant principal at the Preuss school, how have those experiences shaped your practice and what you are doing for kids within your system?
Wow. As a teacher and as an administrator, my goal is always to be impactful to children and to be fair to them. And I've always been able to relate to kids. And that's why I say it's my calling. I've always been able to just kind of get on their level and understand their thinking. And so, both as a teacher and as an administrator, the one thing that I also try to do is learn from kids. There's so much that they can teach us. And having been doing this for as long as I have now, generation after generation, you learn more things from the kids. And it's just a fascinating thing to see, to listen to them, to see how they think their ideas. And it just, it's always been something that has been really rewarding for me. And as an African American educator, I have seen firsthand the influence that my presence has had on children, particularly girls, but also boys. I've seen, to give you an example, before I look like this, I used to wear a big afro. And, we have, these different ideas of what beauty looks like. And as a community, we've had to start to reshape our ideas and get out of an assimilationist sort of view of what's beautiful. And I remember noticing that my girls would come to school when when they took their braids out or when they were in between hairdos, and they would just wear their afro, their crown and glory. And it took me a minute to make the connection between, well, if Miss Watson can do it, then I can do it. And so that was one of the first times that I really realized how representation mattered and how representation was important and how I was influencing the kids, even in ways that I didn't intentionally influence them.
We call this series Profiles in Power, and it comes from something that we've been having as a conversation as an equity department that stuck with us about Dr. Monique Morris, that says equity is about power and how we use it. And you spoke a little bit about it, right? This idea of representation, the importance of having people of color, people who represent a lot of the children within our school systems. What would you say to a younger you, a younger Nelika, as a first year educator, about how you could be the best teacher for our students of color?
Ooh, young Nalika, that was a girl there. I think that I would say to a young me, just by being here, you're doing good work. Just being here, being yourself, representing these students, advocating for them, you are doing good work. And then I would probably say to myself, so you should be trying to be the best you. You should always put your best foot forward. You should, but it's okay to make mistakes. I would tell myself that because I'm still learning that. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to give yourself grace so that you can extend that grace to your children. I think that now I would tell young Nelika, you are on the right track. You will do more. You will reach further. You will reach more children. Because when I came into education, I was very much I'm going to stay in the classroom forever teacher. And then as I evolved throughout my career, I learned the concept of maximizing my impact. And I realized how the things that I wanted to see changed, I might have to be the person to change them. And so I, you know, I would tell young me, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. The sky is the limit. There are no limitations. And believe for yourself what you tell your children to believe about themselves.
Absolutely. Yes. Beautiful. Well said. Well said. So I'm gonna have to put you on the spot, Nelika. I'm thinking of like, if you were to choose a quote, one quote that represents and speaks to your experience as an educator, to your experience as a champion of students, to your experience as a student yourself, what would that quote be and why?
So I'm a quote person too, but I think that, and I think with this quote, I hope it encourages anybody who hears it to go and read the full poem, to get the full context. But one of my favorite quotes is from Lucille Clifton's poem, Celebrate With Me. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and has failed.
Powerful. Powerful. Well, there you have it, folks. Nelika-Fai Watson, joining us here as our first episode of our series here with the County Office of Education's Equity Department. We hope to bring you more of these. Thank you, Nelika, for being with us today. We really appreciate you and the work that you're doing within our county. Awesome to have you on.
Thank you, Valentine. Thank you to the Office of Equity.
Have a good one.
Thank you.